Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and happy 2025. I'm Carissa Wiley from sprinkledwithglitter.com. Welcome to my craft room. It's our first live stream of the year. I'm looking forward to doing so many more of these in 2025, and I am so glad that you're all here, that you took time out of your day, your busy schedules, to hang out with me, and we're going to create something today. We're going to get in the mood for love. We're going to start our Valentine's Day crafting. It's like my second favorite thing to create projects for in the year. First being Christmas. I'm a Christmas girl through and through, but we got through that season and it's time to move on to the next. And I'm so excited to create some Valentine's Day love theme projects. How is everyone doing? I see a lot of Happy New Year wishes out there. I have to tell you, 2025, I was in bed when I rang in the new year, and the neighbors did some fireworks for about 30-40 minutes. Anyway, so I was awake for the new year because I got woken up. But I have to tell you, I'm so excited about 2025 and the things that are to come. I think I have a lot of hope and dreams for this year ahead, and I'm excited to share that journey with all of you. If you're not following me already on Instagram, I have it linked below. I share a lot in my stories there that you might not otherwise see. So if you haven't done that already, go ahead and go over to Instagram and follow me there. Jenny wants to know when I leave for Paris. I leave for Paris on Friday. And I'm so excited to spend the first part of 2025 with my sister-in-law, my niece, and my youngest daughter over in Paris. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be cold, but it's going to be a great time, and I'm looking forward to that. Juju says she's getting old. She didn't even stay up till 12 a.m. I didn't stay up till 12 a.m. either. In fact, I worked my nurse job yesterday. I came home, I ate dinner, I was ready for bed. So that's what I did, and then I just happened to get woke up by the neighbor's fireworks. So if you haven't already, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications to my channel so you don't miss any of my content that I share here. I do have some new video tutorials coming up for you next week. I'm scheduling them before I leave for Paris, and you're going to want to catch that because I got some good stuff. Let's go down to the desktop, shall we, and talk about what we're going to make today. We are going to use some older products from Concord and 9th, and we're going to get into the lovey mood. I have never used this Much Love bundle. It's a die, like a cover die and a coordinating stencil set. And I was kind of going through my stuff this morning, looking for things I haven't used yet. This was one of them that I hadn't used. And I thought I wanted to make a shaker card. I'm going to tell you what I wanted to do and what I figured out wouldn't work. I pulled out a couple more random die sets because they have these little hearts in them that are like little ring hearts, frame hearts. Both the Up and Away bundle and Love Lines die have one of those in it. So I'm going to use one of those, and then for a little sub-sentiment, I'm going to use the Big on You set here, all from Concord and 9th. It's all linked in the YouTube description below. And so if you want to use my affiliate links to shop, those are all there, and I really appreciate your support. Again, thanks for joining me here. I think we should get started though, because we have a lot to do. And I'm going to start out, okay, let's talk about what I wanted to do and why it won't work. So let's walk you through this first. I really wanted to create a shaker card with this die, this Much Love die. But I wanted to create just the love part in the shaker. Here's why, and I could do that normally I would be able to do that with a partial die cut. And I'm going to show you why this won't work. At least I'm not this smart. So you see the die fills up the whole 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch cardstock. And if I lay this here, I was kind of experimenting beforehand. If I cover just the love part, this M comes down into this. Now, you could probably partial die cut like several times and do this, but it's a live stream. I'm about taking chances and seeing if something works. If you've hung out here on my live streams, you know I'm willing to take a chance. This does not seem super feasible to me. If you have a way, go ahead and drop it in the chat over here or drop it in the comments if you're watching on the replay. But it just seemed a little complicated to create and recreate again. So plan B, we're still going to make a shaker. We're going to die cut this from the panel, but we're going to re-inlay the much part so that it's not an open window. So you'll be able to see that it was cut, but I think overall it's going to be just fine. You know, sometimes you have to plan B the things, right? So that's what I did. I got up this morning. I was like, what am I going to create on my live stream today? And I thought love was the way to go. Yeah, Melanie says try running it through twice. That was the mini plate that I was actually showing you from the Impress. So this is the mini plate. So if I put it like this, then I would have to like do this. Do you see how the L comes up into the M? So I wouldn't get the top of the L. And so I could angle it, but keeping that in place as it's running through, it doesn't seem feasible. And then you could run through like this part of it. I just don't think in the end, I'm going to get the result that I want. So I did think about running it through twice, but when I started like kind of fidgeting with the plates, I just don't think it's that easy. So we're going to do plan B, and we're going to start out by doing our stenciling. Now, this is kind of a cool stencil set because it has 3 layers that you can use, and I did not cut these. Well, let's do this. 3 layers that you can use. We're going to do this differently. I thought I was going to put it in the corner of my Misty stamping tool, but we'll use my Altenew 9x12 sticky mat instead. But 3 layers, a solid layer, a shadow layer, and then like a detail layer. So we're going to use them. Oh, I hate this noise on camera. I'm so sorry. I meant to do this ahead of time, but honestly, I was working on other projects too, like out in the garage with my laser. I'm trying to get a lot of stuff done before I leave for Paris, and so it's just kind of one of those things. Now, this has a little like guide mark for an A2 size card, which is what I have here. So I'm just going to look down through this and get it lined up with my card front. And I'm going to stencil layer number 1. I might stencil all 3. I don't know. I'm thinking about how I want to do this. But first I'll get this lined up, and I know I want to stencil the much first. So let's do this. We're going to do a couple different colors. So we'll grab some wide mint tape from scrapbook.com, and we're going to block off the love word. Now, because it's not a straight line, we have to do some finagling with our masking. Now, I want all of my color to be in the word love, and so I'm going to start with Pebble ink, and I am going to ink up the word much with Pebble ink. I'm trying to think. Oh yes, I do have a gray ink blending brush. So I'm going to do this. I know that gray is not fun, but I feel like for Valentine's Day that a nice black or gray, especially when you're gifting to a dude, I feel like a black or gray kind of keeps it from feeling too pink or too red or something like that. So I thought I would bring in just a neutral gray at the top. Pebble is a great gray from Concord and 9th, and so I'm not doing any fancy blending. I'm just going to get the color on there, and I don't want the gray to take center stage necessarily, and so I'll just, you know, get a layer over there. It looks really green on my camera. I promise you it's not green in real life. And then I'm going to grab a dry cloth and go across. Now I will be using this actual stenciled portion. And so before I die cut, I want to get this done, and then I'm going to actually die cut over the top of this. And I hope this will make a little more sense. Now, just so that I can get my bearings when I do my die cutting, I am going to mask off the much, and I am going to add a layer of color over the love so that I can, like I said, get my bearings when I'm doing my die cutting. And I don't want to get any pink into the much part because I'm going to be using some purpley pinks from Concord and Ninth. I have Wildberry and Dragonfruit, Pink Lemonade, and Ballet Slipper. And I think for the word love, this will be a great way to kind of try it out if I like this. I'm going to use Dragonfruit, or I'm sorry, Wildberry, the darker, I think. We'll see. No. I did not want to use that. I want to use Dragonfruit. Yes, this is it. In my head, I had this planned out, but like I said, I was a little busy beforehand, and so, and actually I'm thinking of something different now. What if we did the heart in the dragon fruit? Yes, this is what I want to do, I think. We'll see. Thank you all for your well wishes for my trip. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a long day of travel on Friday into Saturday, but I know it will all be worth it. I've never done a trip quite like this before, so it'll be definitely like it'll be a new experience for me. Okay, let's go to Pink Lemonade and Ballet Slipper. We will come back to the Dragonfruit and Wildberry. So I'm going to go Pink Lemonade on this love word. Now, eventually this is going to be my shaker window. So I may have to redo this, but this is going to get my bearings for me. At least I can see if I like the colors. Okay, so I'm thinking Pink Lemonade on this part. And I'm thinking Dragonfruit on the heart. So let's just kind of move these around and do just the heart. You guys are quiet. Is everybody like off today? Like, do you have to work? Are you watching from work, or did you have the day off? I know what it's like to have to work on holidays. Since my other job is nursing, I know it's never fun when everybody else is, that's what I hate it. It's like when everybody else is home and I have to go to work. On the other days that everybody else is not home and I have to go to work, it doesn't feel quite as like terrible, but I know what it's like to go to work when everybody else is home. Okay. We're doing some creative masking. Let's wipe this. Trying not to wipe it into the Ballet, even though we're not going to use that. I get it. Okay. Perfect. Now, what I think I want to do is go ahead and cut this. Some people have to work later. Some people have the day off. Ooh, Jen's going to on crafting and cleaning her craft room. That sounds fun. I needed coffee. I have not really sat and drank coffee this morning, so I'm feeling like, I need that. Okay. You know what? I got some ink on this. We'll have to see if we can rectify that later. Okay, so my next step is going to be to cut the window. And I'm doing this on purpose. Actually, I needed to think this out a little bit more. Let's do I'm going to do this detail layer next. And the reason is I don't want to have to put this detail layer onto individual die cuts. And I'm only going to do it on the much. So, I think we may have to pull out some black ink for this. Let's do this. Make sure we're masked. And I'm going to grab some black for this. Again, just trying to help it feel like a little more masculine so that it's not all pink, even though I'm going to use pink. And if you are around me and you're a dude, you get pink and glitter and sequins quite often. And it doesn't bother me to give that to men, but I'm just, you know, trying to keep it a little bit more on the masculine side. Okay. Oh, I like that. Okay. So now I'm going to cut. Because the shadow layer of this will actually go around the die cut. So if you wanted to do this like with the windows and just use the stencil for the shadow layer, you totally can. Okay, so now I'm going to take this and I'm going to line this up and just kind of looking through this, doing this as best I can and looking through the window of the die. I can see just like a tad bit of white on one side. So I'm just going to kind of move this around until I feel like I'm in a good spot. And I do feel like I'm in a good spot, and we'll see how it turns out. So I'll put my other cutting pad on top and we'll run this through my Anna Griffin Impress machine. Yeah, I like the black, and I didn't go super hard on the black, so it's not like super intense, but I think it looks really nice with the pink especially. So let's do this. And we'll keep those letters for much. Okay, this is perfect. This is what I need. Okay, so now I'm going to put these all aside. Let's see, I have a little tray here I can put them in. And I am going to take the window that I just created and I'm going to place it back onto my sticky mat here. And I'm going to do the shadow layers for these letters. So I'll place this back on, and this time I'm not going to necessarily use the corner grid markings. I'm going to just line this up to the best of my ability with the windows that I've created. Now, this is not, I didn't say this was easy, but I can just kind of come through here and look down through. I kind of feel like, okay, let's do the love first. I feel like it's just a little off. I'm sure with the stenciling, it all lines up just fine, but with the actual die cut letters, I may have to do some shifting, and that's okay. Just trying to get it the best I can. Okay, so I'm going to do love first, and I've lined it up with the windows, so you can see that there's parts that don't kind of line up. So I'm going to mask off much, and I'll do that separately. So this is all just like one big experiment. Y'all know that I do not make these cards in advance, so I'm flying by the seat of my pants here. And we're going to do Wildberry for the shadow layer on the love word, okay? And we're going to do it pretty intense. We want some good color here. And we'll see how it looks. I may hate it. If I have to start over again, I have to start over again. If I had to start over again, I would just die cut the thing again and work from there. Okay, so let's see what we have here. I know it's not perfect because it's meant to line up with the stencils, not necessarily perfectly with the die. Okay, shoot, got more ink there. I wasn't totally masked off. We'll fix it. Okay, so I'm okay with this here. We're going to take and do the much part. And we're going to use, for this, we're going to use some cobblestone ink. So, wipe this off a little bit. This is a very inky mess here. And we're going to line up the much with the letters that are already there. Okay. I have to focus when I'm doing stuff like that. Can't walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. Okay, and then this shadow layer. Hello, everyone that's joining late. Candy says it's our first time watching a live. She's in my way to my retirement, and we are working on. Love your work. Thank you. Okay, so cobblestone for the shadow layer on much. It's a little bit darker than the pebble that we used earlier. And we'll just get that blended on there real quick. Not doing anything fancy with the blending here. And we'll pull this up. Okay, I like that. It's actually got a little white gap, and I'm okay with that. I'm like kind of digging. Okay, so we have that. We have our letters. And here's what I think we need to do. I think we need to create a backer for our word love. So I'm going to trim a piece of white cardstock down. You guys are seeing all this like play out in real time. I'm gonna go with, let's see, how big do we need this? Or is anybody like watching football today? Is that a thing? Okay, we're gonna do that. And here's what we're gonna do. I have ink everywhere. This is like a disaster waiting to happen. Let's move some stuff here. I am going to take pink lemonade and blend over this piece. And we're just going to add some color here. We're going to probably have to do some trimming of this piece a little bit because I think it's going to come up into that M, like I showed you earlier, why we couldn't do like a partial die cut on this. So we'll see what that looks like when we get this all blended. Okay, maybe a little more intensity at the bottom. Oh, Roberta says no football for her. She's just watching me and Kathy Z. Well, thanks for coming over. Juju says go Notre Dame. All right, so I'm not like super much a resolutions person, but does anybody have any resolutions they want to share with the group out there? You have some big plans for 2025? I have big plans for 2025. I'm excited about 2025, and I think it's going to be, I'm just believing that it's going to be a good year. Okay. So now I'm going to take this, I'm going to line up the lower grid marks here, the hash marks or whatever you want to call them, with the edge of my cardstock. And I'm just reusing a lot of these tapes and stuff that I've used earlier. I'm going to hold it in place. And then I am going to blend just the heart. And I'm going to blend it in Dragonfruit, not Wildberry. And I know that this is like a whole thing, but I have a vision in my head, and sometimes you just got to trust the process to go along with it, right? Okay. So we have the heart. We're going to go with Dragonfruit. Oh, Mandy's goal is to keep her craft room cleaned. Oh, the Sugar Bowl got canceled. Is that in New Orleans? Is that why? I wasn't aware of that. Melissa says resolutions include finishing a crochet blanket and some house renovation projects. Those are good resolutions. Ooh, I love that. How cute is that just on its own? I feel like we could make something of that. Okay. So this is going to be like my backer for my shaker window, and I do have to trim some off. So I know I want to trim just like a little bit off the sides to help it nestle in. So we're going to go like 1/8 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch, and 1/8 of an inch. Remember, nobody's going to see this. It's going to sit behind that cute panel that we're making for the front. So we don't have to like, this doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. So, and then let's see. I may just kind of do some markings on this to kind of guide me where I need to trim down. So let's get a pencil. I know I have one. And we know we need to go right above that, right below that. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to do something, just going to go just like this. This seems crazy to me. I don't even know if it's going to work. Below and above. Okay. Did we do it? I think we sort of did it. I think we can make it work though. Maybe not. No, I think we can make it work. Maybe I have a different idea because this is, I'm just a little off. And it's because I cut above. But the thing is, I can't really recut because I have that heart on there. So, okay. So while I like mull that over in my head, what we're going to do is we're going to flip this over and we're going to work on placing in our mutch. Okay. So we're going to grab these and we're going to just nestle them in to the open parts and we're going to adhere it from the back. So this is the part where I said you're going to tell that it's die cut, but we're going to nestle it back in, and we're going to not make a shaker portion out of this part. Okay, so I'm just nestling this in from the back. And then what we'll do is we're going to take some tape and just tape them in. She says, that's pretty, just go with it. I know what I can do, actually. I think I have something in mind that I can do, that I can make this work. I might be able to blend a little bit more pink onto the card base and have it just not even tell. So this is the fun part. It's just, you just never know what you're gonna get, right? Melissa Giddens lost 60 pounds last year and want to lose the rest this year. Way to go, Melissa. Way to prioritize your health and wellness. I've been on a journey of prioritizing my health this year in the way that I eat. So, and man, let me tell you, I've been eating basically very clean. I'm not dieting. I just been eating very clean, and kind of took some time off from that for the holidays, and I could feel it. My body was like, we don't like this. Let's not do this anymore. I could feel like the inflammation and that sort of thing, like returning, and man, clean eating is the way to go. Okay, so we have that, and we have this. And I know what we'll do. So we're going to be able to put this onto a card base. I've gotten ink everywhere on this card. I'm just telling you, we're going to have to go over it with a sand eraser. You probably can't see it, but I can. And what I'm thinking, there's two ways that we could do this. We can just blend. Let's do that. We're gonna just die cut this heart because I love it so much. And then we're just gonna blend the pink lemonade onto the card base, and we'll call it good. See, there's a workaround for everything. Now, there are times where I will totally just chuck a project, but I'm not ready to give up on this yet. So I'm just gonna line this up with that pink heart that I created. I don't wanna try, here's the deal. I don't wanna try to inlay all those letters into the shaker window. I think that would be just like, no, too much. But I could inlay the heart, which is what I'm gonna attempt to do here, and just blend the pink onto the card base. I think this is my best solution at this point. Okay. Are you guys, let me know in the comments in the chat, are you guys big Valentine crafters? Do you like to craft for Valentine's Day? I understand that we don't often give Valentines to everyone, but you know, is it something you enjoy? Because I enjoy like the frilly nature and the pink and reds and all that of Valentine's Day. Claire is here. Happy New Year, Clara. Thanks for joining. We're on a journey with this card. And it's a journey. We'll just put it that way if you're just joining. So this is for my card base. So I've cut my cardstock to 5.5 by 8.5 inches, and I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. And I still have so much more planned for this card, so we got to keep it moving. Now, here's the deal. I can blend the pink lemonade as far as I want because you're not going to see it come into this much. So, but I don't want it to go all the way to the edge, and the reason why is that once I put it on to like foam adhesive. I don't want you to be able to see the pink from the side. I know that's like kind of silly, but so what I'm going to do is just mask off the teeniest bit on both sides and the bottom, just to make my heart happy. Now, it may not be a big deal, but I'm thinking ahead, at least I'm attempting to. And this is the, I don't know, it's 5/8 inch maybe, mint tape from scrapbook.com. Okay, so we have that masked. Now we're gonna go back in pink lemonade, going on a journey. Delia has a question, go ahead. Kelly Ross says we learned how to pivot during COVID. Yes, we did. Valentine's has my heart. I love all the pinks and reds. Melanie loves crafting for Valentine's. I'm with you on that. And Scorned Woman, I think she said her name was Melissa earlier. I hope I'm correct. Says that she used to make a lot of Valentine's Day cards when her kids were little. Wasn't that fun when we had little ones? To make stuff for Valentine's Day. I think there's always something so fun about like a homespun feel for Christmas and Valentine's, especially like craft cardstock with red, maybe some white thrown in there, some string and twine. I think that's so much fun. Did we get enough of this? Why did I remove the pink? Which pink? Why did I remove the pink heart? Because when I cut the backer that I had created for the shaker window, I cut too much of the pink off, Delia. And so there was some white gapping at the top. And so in order to fix that, where I had cut the shaker panel, the backside panel too small, I just went ahead and cut that heart out so I can use it on here. And then I will blend onto the ink or onto the actual card base. I am redoing the pink, yes. Okay. And then Anne says she made 30 C9 tiny shopping bags with candy in them for her coworkers. That's so sweet. Okay. So yes, I had to redo the pink because I messed up, which is what I do. And now I am going to take this, I'm going to stack all this up. I'm going to grab another piece of this tape, or actually the same piece. Hold it in place. Okay. Just like this. I'm kind of just stacking everything up to where it's even. And I'm going to inlay that heart onto my base, my card base. Did you need to trim the pink? Oh, you're right, Janet. I didn't think of that. I did not need to trim the pink. But this works too. You know what? I did not think through the process of this card, so you're kind of seeing my idea come to life and not thinking through everything all the time 100%. But you're so right. I did not need to trim the pink because you wouldn't have seen it. You're right. This is probably better anyway because I'm not going to have a whole nother layer under there. Okay, so we're going to inlay my heart. Have some liquid glue on the back. Kind of grabbed it from the wrong angle. So I'm going to press all this down and just sink my heart right into that opening. And that way when I put my shaker layer over the top, that'll be on the back side. Okay, perfect. Now we can remove that. Oh, thank you. Delia says she's so glad I did a live today. I'm so glad. I didn't have a whole lot going. Well, I do have a whole lot going on. Lies. I didn't have any like appointments or anything today, and I thought it would be a great way to ring in the new year. And I'm not going to be able to be live next week because I will be in Paris and then coming back from Paris. And so I just thought rather than you know, going for weeks on end without going live, I would just go live today instead. And that way we could hang out together before I head off, and then we will see everybody again in the new year. So let me see if this piece of acetate is big enough for behind my love thing, and it is. Fabulous. Okay, here's what I want to do on this. This may be like, maybe it's too much. I don't know. I might hate it. I don't know. But I kind of want to take this detail layer of the love, which we did on that black up here, and I kind of want to do with the stencil, I want to do the word love over the acetate, but I want to do it with some embossing powder. Let me just tell you, this may be a mistake. I don't know. But we're going to try it anyway because we've done plenty of messing up today. We can mess up again. It's fine. If it doesn't work on the first shot, we'll probably just go with plain acetate. Okay, hey, that is the color pen I lost. How did you get it to your craft room? Oh, did you lose your little glue pen, the pen that goes inside your glue? I think you can order more of those. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna coat the top of this acetate with some serious powder tool. Like I said, this might be too much, but I'm all about too much and trying new things. Then we're gonna take this and we're gonna try to line it up here. Just seeing that I'm kind of in the center of it. It's kind of hard to see the acetate through the stencil. And we're gonna grab, we need some embossing ink. How about some Ulta New embossing ink? And how about do I have a VersaFine? I do. Perfect. It's got some stuff on it, but we're gonna just pounce the embossing ink right into that stencil that's sitting over the acetate, okay? Oh, Roberta, don't step on that pen if it's on your floor somewhere. That would be awful. Okay, I have a story to tell. I often walk around barefoot in my house. I just prefer to be barefoot. It's just, I grew up in the country. I spent a lot of time barefoot. I like to be barefoot. One time I was in my craft room and I was clipping apart dies, you know, the dies that come tabbed together, which that is not my preference. I will tell you, it is my preference for dies to you know, already cut apart. And I had been cutting apart the dies and one of the little pieces like flew across the craft room and I stepped on it and it was stuck like in my foot, sticking out. It was horrible pain. I had ink on the back side of that thing. It was horrible, horrible. And I had to like pull it out myself. I remember that super well. So be careful with what's on your craft room floor if you are walking around barefoot. So I hope that doesn't end up in your foot. I do recommend a heat safe acetate. The one that I'm using today is technically not labeled heat safe. I will tell you that. This is not technically labeled heat safe, but I have heat embossed on it in the past and had just fine luck with it. And so that is what I am using. I definitely recommend, though, if you are going to heat emboss on acetate, that you use a heat safe acetate. This acetate is actually acetate I've had in my stash for quite some time. It is from the Essentials by Ellen line. And as most of you probably know, Ellen Hudson, the shop she retired, Ellen retired. And so the shop is no longer open. So the exclusive things, or the branded, Ellen Hudson branded items, are no longer available. So I just linked something very similar in the comment or in the description. Kareen says she loves watching me craft. Thank you, Kareen. I am going to, we did this a few weeks ago with acetate, and we heat embossed on acetate, and I gave you some tips and you all seem to really like it. So my first tip for embossing on acetate is you need to let your heat gun get really good and hot. And when I say really good and hot, just let it run for like a minute. Then what we're going to do is we are going to hit the acetate with some heat and remove it. Hit it and heat and remove it. So we're going to go back and forth. It's going to take a lot longer to emboss this way, but we're going to try to minimize the warping that we get. Okay. So now that it's good and hot, I'm going to take and heat the acetate and then remove my heat gun. And then heat the acetate and remove. Heat, remove, and keep doing that. Jen, there are a few new things from Ellen Hudson on Amazon. You are correct. And there are a few old things too on Amazon from Ellen Hudson. But the complete entire line is not there. So I'm just going to heat and remove back side and front side. And you can see I'm not even getting melt yet. Barely starting to get melt. It's going to take it a little bit to do this. Okay, you can see the L is starting to melt a little bit. But we don't want to overheat the acetate. Even if you're using heat safe acetate, I would recommend heat embossing like this. And now we're starting to get melt. As soon as it melts, we're removing our heat. Okay, look, we're getting it melted. Do you see it? It's shiny, it's smooth. That's how we know it's melted. And then we have the E. And now we have a little bit of warping, but it's not terrible. All right. I'm going to let it cool, blowing on it. So it has a little bit of warp, but not a ton. And so when we put this on the back of our shaker card, it's going to be just fine. Now, once it's cooled, I'm going to take a microfiber cloth and I'm just going to wipe off the excess powder tool that's over the top of this acetate and on the back of the acetate. And I do have, I can't tell if the ink is on the back side of my acetate or on the front side, but I have some ink there. I think it's on the back side. So I'm just getting some of that dragon fruit ink off the back of the acetate. Okay. So now we have this that will nestle right into our window. I love this so much. Oh, this is going to be adorable. Okay. So now we're going to remove the backer from some of this that's up here. This is Ulta New sticky tape. You could also use the Score Pal sticky tape. I put this on the back up here because I want it to hold it really well, but I can't put other adhesive over the top of that without it interfering with, you know, my stick. So what I'm going to do is remove the backer so that I can add this window to the back. Okay. So we're going to go around the edge here. Actually, this is too wide. This is 1/4 inch and I think it's too wide. So we're going to go to score tape instead, which I have 1/8 of an inch. And we're going to go right around the edge of this love window. Now, here's the deal. You could also use liquid glue for this. However, liquid glue, if you move your acetate window around at all, you're going to get liquid glue on your window. And so you kind of want to be careful with that if you're going to use liquid glue, and just keep that in mind. Okay, so we have our double-sided adhesive. And we're going to remove the backer from this. And I did see it was either, was it, let me scroll up here. I'm going to scroll up. I saw a comment. Julie says she loves my new nail polish. This is actually almost a 2-week-old manicure. I'm going to get my nails done before I leave for Paris tomorrow. So I will be going back. I put this on for Christmas, the red, and I will be going back to my favorite pink polish because the red I have been loving, but I'm ready to go back. Let's just put it that way. Okay, I'm going to place this where I can see it on my surface. What I think I'll do, I'm going to grab another sticky surface just to kind of help me here hold this in place. So this is my stamp wheel. It has a photopolymer mat in it as well. And I'm just going to get right over the top of this. The adhesive is exposed. Just look through that window and align my acetate and press it down. Now, I may have messed this up because there may be some adhesive exposed where I can't get it off, but we'll see. And let's see. Oh, I might have just stuck this to my mat. Okay, we're okay. Oh, I forgot to. Okay, this is a day. I'm just telling you, it's a day. Like I said earlier, we're on a journey here. It's really bugging me that I forgot to remove the backer from this one right here. Do you see that? So I'm going to do some surgery. I'm going to grab my magic wand, which is the perfect picker tool from Ulta New. It's an embellishment placement tool. I'm going to slide it underneath where this is lifting up. I'm going to remove that backer and then press that down. That way we don't have any fly away. Okay, how cute is this, you guys? Okay. Then this will pop up over the top of our card base, and that will be our shaker window. We are almost there. Crystal says she loves creative journeys. Well, we are going on a journey today with this card, let me just tell you. Oh, how cute is that going to be? So cute. And then we're going to add a couple little more details to it at the end. We're coming up on an hour here. I usually try to be done in an hour, but if you know me, it's usually more like an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and a half-ish. And I'm not going to use this. I am going to go, I know what I'm going to use for this. I'm going to use the skinny little adhesive strips from scrapbook.com. Sorry, I had to leave you for a moment. And so these are like 1/8 strips. And I'm going to create my shaker well with these strips. I don't think technically that these are adhesive that are designed for tearing. However, I am tearing these and it seems to be working just fine. The thing with shaker wells is that you want to make sure that your foam adhesive is touching the next piece so that you don't have any, you don't have any leaking on that. And I'm not going to put any foam on the inside of this, but what I am going to do is add a second layer of foam adhesive over the top of this because I want to allow plenty of room for my little shaker bits to go in, or to move around, I should say. And so we'll take the leftover strips that we have and just go around my window again. Oh, Roberta says she has a magnetic dish for detabbing dies. She forgets to use it. Very seldom do I have to do it anymore. Most of the companies now are ordering from manufacturers that the dies come separate instead of all stuck together, which, as I mentioned, is my preference. It does, like when I get them and I have to cut them apart, I'm like, oh, good grief. Because it's like, one more step before you can, start your creative process. And for me, I'm all about maximizing my time. And so sometimes it's just very difficult to have to add another step. And then when you're trying to keep everything sorted and organized and everything, and you're putting them into different pouches and stuff like that, it's another step. Oftentimes I will get some help for organizing my products. My daughter is very well trained in that now. So I often hire her, pay her by the hour to do some of my organizing for me, just so that can get things put away. Now I have piles and piles of things right now that need to be put away and that need to be dealt with, but I have not had the chance with the holiday season and that sort of thing. I just have not prioritized that. So I have little piles of releases and stuff like that all the way around my craft room. And I need a little fairy to come and help me. Okay. I'm doing a double layer, so I have to remove the backer from all these and then add a second layer of foam over the top of these so that they're even with the bottom. You guys, we are almost done. This has been quite the show. Also, if you haven't done it already, I mentioned this at the beginning. Wow, there's 110 of you here today. Thanks. If you haven't already, hit the thumbs up on this video and you can share it with your friends, your crafty friends. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications here. I really appreciate it. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I do have affiliate links in the YouTube description. So if you're looking to shop and you want to use those are there for you. And I have all those products listed there that I've been using. Okay, we have our foam done. That was the whole thing, wasn't it? Okay, I need to scratch my eye. And we are going to add, let's see, we're going to use the stamp wheel again because we're going to use it to square this up. But I'm going to take the photopolymer out and I'm just going to use this part. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the backer from my foam adhesive all over the card, or on the back of the card base. Okay, so we're just going to remove all the backers. We're going to use the corner of this tool which it gives me more depth if I take the photopolymer out or the sticky grid out. Gives me more depth to work with to get this squared up. So I'm going to get you know what, I can't get it squared up because my acetate is sticking out of the bottom just slightly. So we're going to trim that up just a teensy. Would have been much easier to trim this up had I done it before the backer was off of the adhesive. But you live and you learn. We've learned a lot of lessons today. You know, that's the thing. I think for me, maybe this is not you, but for me, when we go on these journeys like this, that not everything goes right, I feel like we learn so much. And so it doesn't really bother me to go on a little creative journey like this. I will not forget my shaker pieces. I have that like in my brain. I'm going to use the crystal confetti from the stamp market. It is like so shiny, so beautiful. And I have these little ice cream tasting spoons that I like to like scoop it into my shaker window with. So I'm going to just grab a little spoon. The thing about some of these confettis, and this one is like this, but sometimes they like come from the manufacturer and like several of the confettis are kind of stacked on top of each other and like stuck together. So sometimes you have to kind of break them apart if there's some big chunks. Darcy says she always learns what not to do the next time. Exactly. And we are better off for that, right? If we can take these little lessons and just be like, okay, well, that didn't work. It's, you know, not the end of the world. We can make mistakes when we're making cards, figure things out. We can have not thought things through all the way, just like, you know, the example of the pink piece that wouldn't have been a big deal because, you know, I had the inlaid letters at the top that someone pointed out to me. But, you know, we can take things like that and we can learn from them and we can be like, okay, so we went on a journey we didn't need to go on. Okay, I'm going to spread those out. I think that's enough. Look how shiny those are. Ooh, so shiny. I'm going to make sure that this is cornered up. And then I'm going to take my card base. Okay, we have the blended card base with the little heart. And we're going to, I'm like, really want to work from this end. So we're going to actually go to this end. This is crazy here. And I'm going to just get this into the corner, into the top. And we're just going to place the card base right over the card front. Yeah. I didn't take the backing off the piece of the love. What? No, I did. I did. Of the love? Yeah, I did. It's all stuck down there. Oh my goodness. How cute is that? Okay, so shaker card there. And then we're going to add just a couple more little things. Okay. So let's set Mr. Stampwell. I don't know why he's Mr., but he is Mr. Stampwell aside. Today he's Mr. Speaking of Mr., my Mr. is home today. And I have a couple things I want to add. I want to add a little sentiment strip, which I did think about this ahead of time. And it says much love, and I want to stamp this so, so much. Like, much love, so, so much. So I'm going to actually just do this with we're going to do this with, should I cut it first? Yeah, let's do this. There's like these little sentiment strip dies in the back. So I'm going to actually cut it first and then stamp it. I know that's not everybody's preference, but that's what we're gonna do today. Oh, see, it was worth the journey, wasn't it? It was worth the journey. Now, if you wanted to add even more dimension, you could stack up these letters and you could do it that way. I'm gonna do this in black. And this is a tiny bit curved, so I'm just gonna, let me see. Let me get right over this. You're gonna see my head. My hair is very clean. I washed it this morning. Thank you, Norma. Norma says this is a cute card. Okay. Oh, that's cute. Okay, we did good on that. I feel like I get better results with something like this. Like when I trim it first and then I, stamp on it. That's just my own personal. Some people like to stamp first and then trim. Now, here's what I want to do. I want one of these little heart frames. I have the Love Lines dies, which creates, it's kind of hard to tell, but it creates this fine little heart frame. So I have that one. That one's a little wonkier. It probably matches this better. And then the Up, Up and Away bundle also has, excuse me, one of these little frames. Excuse me. And I want to die cut it from some diamond glitter cardstock. So we're gonna grab a piece of that. We'll die cut both of them and we'll see which one is better. How's that sound? Hi, Megan. Megan, I need to talk to you. I need to know how your trip was. I hope it was magical. I know you had a couple little mishaps. Saw your son got some stitches while he was at Disney, but we haven't talked. I told my husband that my goal was to save money to pay for us to go to Disneyland, which is it's a drive for us, like 3 hours, not too bad. But my goal was to save money for us to go to Disneyland this coming year at the holidays when it's all decorated for Christmas. So that is, I guess I do have goals or resolutions. So my goal is to earn some money this year and save for to take us both to Disneyland for a couple days at the holidays this year, because we went for the Halloween time, and let me just tell you, we had so much fun. Joanne's here. Good morning. We are like finishing this card up. So we have this cutie little frame heart. We have this cutie little frame heart. We could use them both. And then we have our little sentiment strip that will just kind of, I don't think we need both hearts as much as like my heart says, like just do it. I think it's too much. Okay, I think that's adorable. Okay, I know exactly what I want to do. We want to take, I have some extra foam over here. Just do this. Actually, we need to put the heart on first. Let's grab some glue and add just a little to this area over here. Glitter's tricky. She's tricky, but we'll make it work. And I'm just going to weave this through. Just like that. I'm going to hold it there for just a second so that we can get it to adhere. Marcus, hello Marcus. And then I'm going to trim off Do you see this little tiny bit of pink or Wildberry coming out the side of my heart? I'm going to just snip that off. I'm going to take my foam adhesive and add it to the back of my strip, going right over the heart so that it's trapping that heart. I know we have liquid glue on it, but we're also trapping the heart with more adhesive by putting that foam adhesive. And then we're going to add this like there-ish. Oh, Kathy is only 45 minutes from Disneyland, but she spent the first week in December at Disneyland. It was beautiful during the holidays. I agree. It's my favorite time to go to Disney. And we went in October because the hubby, Mr. Glitter, had a week or the first part of a week off in October. And so we made that work. But this year, well, I either want to go to Disney at Christmas this year, or I want to go to New York City at Christmas. So one of the two, we're gonna do it. Disney's probably a little more reasonable. Next year, we're celebrating our 25th wedding anniversary. Not this year, not 2025, but 2026. We're celebrating our 25th wedding anniversary. And so we want to do something really big. So we decided that we weren't really going to do a whole lot of travel in 2025 so that we could save for that. Do I like it there? Do I like it a little lower? No, I like it there. Okay. So there we have it. It was a journey, folks. It was a journey. But we have the most adorable shaker card for Valentine's Day. We have that little bit of black in there, a little bit of gray. We have the embossing on top of the shaker window, which I think is so much fun. Wouldn't it be funny if I put this on upside down or something? I did not. But there we have it. Much love, so much. I think this is fun. Do you guys like it? I love it. I think, like I said, it was a journey. We learned so much. I messed up. I mess up all the time. It's not, we fix it. We move forward and we fix it, right? So let's go to the side by side. I will give you, it's 12:16, so we've been going for about an hour and 15 minutes. I'll give about 3 or 4 minutes here for some questions if you have any. Like I said before, don't forget to hit the thumbs up on this video, subscribe, turn on the notifications, follow me over on Instagram. I'm gonna share some bits of Paris over on my Instagram stories this week when I get over there. So be sure you're following me over there because I'm gonna take you along on my magical journey to Paris with my sister-in-law and niece and daughter. And so I hope you'll join me over there. Any questions from you before I go? I am looking, as I said, I'm looking forward to 2025. I have such high hopes for this year, and I think it's going to be a wonderful year. I am reducing my schedule at the hospital a little bit, so I'm hoping that for lives in 2025 can be a little more regular, and content here on my YouTube channel can be a little more regular. I'm just stepping back from nursing just a little bit, not completely, but I'm stepping back from nursing just a little bit and making more times for the things that bring me joy. So I'm really excited about that. What is you must in Paris? I don't know what you must means. And thank you all for the wonderful wishes for a good trip. I'm going to stick around for just a couple more minutes and see if you have any questions. I'm going to get a photo of this up today so that you can all check it out. But this was really using some older products from Concord and Ninth. These were not just recently released. All of these were actually stuff I just had in my stash and I hadn't used yet. Kathy L says, do you like the Empress? I do like the Empress, Kathy. Let me tell you about something about the Empress. If you are looking for one machine to do everything, the Empress maybe is not the tool for you because you cannot use the better press and there's no foil system to go with it. So if you want one machine to do all the things, if you want to better press, you want to foil, and you want to die cut and do embossing folders, and you just have budget for one machine, then I would recommend getting the Spellbinders Platinum 6 because it works with the glimmer. It works with the Better Press. You can die cut with it. But if you want a workhorse of a die cut machine that you can just die cut and you get beautiful cuts every time, I totally recommend the Empress. If you have, you know, room or in your craft room or your budget for, you know, having a separate machine for just for die cutting, I use my Empress all the time. In fact, let me see. Can you see that this is the one that sits here with me all the time, the Empress? So that's the one I use. I grab for it all the time, and I have these linked below, but you can also get a, mini plates for the Empress that work with it, and you can get the large plates. Martha, thank you for the super chat. That is so sweet. I thank you so much for that. That is so sweet. Was this in a class? Kelly Roth, was this in a class? The Much Love. No, this is one of their main line products. So this is not an exclusive class product. In fact, I often try not to use exclusive class product because I want you guys to be able to get your hands on these things if you love them. So this is just part of Concord and Nine's regular line of products, all of this stuff, so you can pick it up, and it's all linked below. Let's see. Roberta wants to know my must-see in Paris. We have everything pretty much planned out. We're doing a city tour. We are doing the Eiffel Tower at night. My sister-in-law does not want to go up to the top of the Eiffel Tower, so I am going up with the two girls to the top. I'm not great with heights, so, but also I think this might be the only time I go to Paris in my life, so I'm like, I gotta do it. We are going to do Louvre. We're going to see Notre Dame. We are going to Palace of Versailles, and we're going to do some shopping. So those are the things that we have kind of on our to-do list. If you have, and we're going to have, the girls both want to have a croissant at a cafe in Paris. And I'm like, well, yeah, you can't go to Paris without having a croissant at a cafe in Paris. So anyway, thank you all for joining me. I'm so glad you're here. I want to wish you all a very happy new year. It means the world to me that you are here on your New Year's Day celebrating with me. And I can't wait to do this more in 2025. So thanks for joining me. And until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day. Thanks so much for stopping by and hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe and turn on the notifications here on my YouTube channel so you don't miss any of my card making and paper crafting video tutorials. Thanks again, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.